Welcome to one of Brooklyn's most quintessential neighborhoods, Park Slope, a scenic community filled with brownstones, tree-lined streets, and a historic charm that feels like a scene straight out of an 1800s postcard. Park Slope was once America's wealthiest neighborhood, developed alongside the creation of Prospect Park. Today, it's a family-friendly community connected to some of the most important cultural attractions in all of Brooklyn. Hi everyone, I'm Jose in Park Slope, Brooklyn, exploring the vintage allure of this classic yet modern neighborhood. On this tour, we'll pay a visit to the amazing Prospect Park, one of the most popular parks in all of New York City, and a true rival to the famed Central Park. Prospect Park is considered one of the best designed urban parks by Frederick Olmsted, the visionary architect behind many of America's iconic city parks. We'll also explore the history of the neighborhood and its fascinating architecture. From brownstone buildings to Victorian mansions, Park Slope is truly a treasure trove for architectural discovery. So let's go on tour to explore Park Slope, Brooklyn. The residential side of Brooklyn, New York City, a pioneer in its own right. Its green spaces and historic landmarks give the borough an ageless feeling. Welcome to the neighborhood of Park Slope, famous for its iconic brownstone architecture, lush green spaces, and cultural institutions like the Brooklyn Botanic Garden and Brooklyn Museum. The area began as farmland, but during the Industrial Revolution, Brooklyn transformed and Park Slope became a playground for the city's wealthy. Affluent families built large, ornate homes that still line the historic district, making it a sought-after escape after the opening of Prospect Park. Brooklyn evolved from a horse and carriage suburb into a streetcar community after the completion of the Brooklyn Bridge, further linking to Manhattan. By the late 1800s, Park Slope had become one of America's wealthiest neighborhoods, with the grand mansions along Prospect Park earning the nickname the Gold Coast. Since Brooklyn's consolidation into the greater New York, Park Slope has welcomed residents from all walks of life, and today continues to thrive as a hub for young professionals while maintaining its historic charm. As we begin our tour of the neighborhood, the brownstones and beautiful low-rise buildings greet visitors with a living postcard of American architecture, a history that has evolved poetically, preserving its classic tradition while blending seamlessly with the modern touches that give Brooklyn its vibrant allure. These brownstones trace their roots to the 19th and early 20th centuries, when the row homes of Park Slope adopted the sleek, Romanesque revival design, built to evoke a sense of luxury, elegance, and stature within the walls of a growing metropolis. Brooklyn's neighborhoods completely reshaped the New York image, offering a distinct identity from the towering skyscrapers of Manhattan. Walking through these streets, you can feel the timelessness radiating from every brick and window frame. Park Slope has been recognized by the American Planning Association as one of the great neighborhoods in the country. That honor reflects not only its remarkable architecture, but also the generations of Brooklyn residents who've called it home. Together, they preserve a historic character that remains virtually unaltered block after block, a living testament of Brooklyn's past and present. At the corner of Lincoln Place and 8th Avenue is the stunning Montauk Club, a Venetian Gothic masterpiece dating back to 1889. Once an exclusive social club for the city's elite, it has since evolved into a welcoming landmark open to all who appreciate its beauty. The building's design was inspired by a Venetian palace along Italy's Grand Canal. Carved mahogany woodwork, stained glass windows, quarterfoils, and Gothic arches make this building one of Park Slope's most treasured historic landmarks. Park Slope's historic district is what truly gives the neighborhood its charm.
Lined with 19th and early 20th century homes, these streets have been carefully preserved, offering a living glimpse into Brooklyn's past. Wide avenues and tree-shaded blocks paint a vivid picture of life over a century ago. Within this district, more than 1,500 buildings stand as a lasting memento to the early days of modern Brooklyn.
Walking along the edges of Park Slope and Prospect Park, we continue our journey toward the Brooklyn Botanic Garden, nestled beside the community of Crown Heights.
This is one of the borough's most visited attractions, the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. It first opened in 1911, just as a skyscraper began to rise. Between 1884 and 1945, New York experienced a developmental boom. Iconic towers like the Empire State Building transformed the horizon, and the city earned its nickname, the Concrete Jungle. Amidst the rapid growth, the Brooklyn Botanic Garden found a way to create green space in this fast-paced city.
Step into a world perfectly in tune with its surrounding neighborhoods. Beginning at the Japanese Hill and Pond Garden, visitors are quietly enjoying their surroundings, watching koi fish interact with the busy turtles as they glide gracefully beneath the surface. The Brooklyn Botanic Garden is a perfect escape for the residents of its surrounding communities, located at the edge of Prospect Park and Crown Heights, and bordered by Park Slope, Prospect Heights, and Prospect Gardens. It beautifully integrates the harmony of nature and architecture. I pause to admire the majestic Tory Gate, its striking vermilion color, reflecting across the pond, symbolizes the passage from the ordinary world to the sacred. Nearby is a fragrance garden, an environment designed for complete sensory immersion. It was the first garden in America created to stimulate the senses of touch and smell, allowing visually impaired visitors to connect with nature. Since its opening in 1955, it has remained one of the most beloved attractions in the garden. Its lush surroundings invite visitors to explore the vibrant colors and delicate scents. Water splashes softly from a fountain, where a small statue of a girl with a butterfly captures the innocence and wonder that children feel when visiting this area. Moving closer to Magnolia Plaza, we find the laboratory, a Beaux Arts-styled building surrounded by the Lily Pool Terrace, home to more than 100 varieties of tropical water lilies and lotuses. The Brooklyn Botanic Garden was established in 1911, and within a decade, the Lily Pool Terrace became one of its jewels. The garden welcomes over 800,000 visitors annually who bring their cameras to photograph the stunning water lilies and the Jenkins fountain between the pools. The fountain was installed in 1930. Its elegant details and Art Deco depict a fish in motion. Back at Magnolia Plaza, the sundial stands as a reminder of the garden's enduring beauty. Added in 1932, it was designed to complement the growing magnolia collections that surround it. Stepping indoors, we enter the Conservatory Gallery. The Brooklyn Botanic Garden was among the first in America to feature a Japanese garden, so its living museum of plants continues to honor the wonders of Asia. Inside the conservatory, the intricate bonsai trees display the lasting legacy of China's Han Dynasty. With soft music playing in my headphones, I wander through this serene tropical retreat where waterfalls and giant pools fascinate even the most curious visitors. each step takes us into another ecosystem, a living exhibition of Earth's delicate habitats. The air grows thick and humid as we cross into the tropical pavilion, transporting us to the coastal deserts of the Middle East. The vision for the Brooklyn Botanic Garden dates back to the late 1800s when the New York legislature reserved 39 acres for the project. The site was originally a dumping ground, a place where the city disposed its waste. As Brooklyn urbanized, the need for green spaces became greater. Just as Prospect Park grew into a symbol of beautification, so too did the idea of a garden devoted to nature, education, and science. Civic leaders feared that unchecked industrialization would degrade the city's air quality and public health. The Botanic Garden answered that call, not just as a place for recreation, but as a living museum dedicated to research and education. When the Botanic Garden opened, the New York City Charter stated, "This garden shall serve as a place for the advancement of science and the instruction of the people." More than a century later, the Brooklyn Botanic Garden still fulfills that mission, a place of learning, inspiration, and wonder. From its earliest days, this garden was envisioned as a garden for the people. From school children to factory workers, everyone could find beauty, knowledge, and peace. The majestic greenery creates a trail that leads to a beautiful museum next to the Botanic Garden.
Brooklyn is alive with art and creativity, from bold street murals to reshaping music, film, and fashion. Its influence goes beyond the borough. Brooklyn is a global artistic powerhouse. At the heart of it all is a Brooklyn Museum. For over 100 years, this institution has been a cultural anchor, housing more than 140,000 objects that span 6,000 years of history and connect visitors to cultures from across the world. As one of the oldest museums in the United States, the Brooklyn Museum is not just a gallery of art, but a reflection of Brooklyn's enduring spirit.
The borough of Brooklyn is known for its artistry, and what better place to celebrate it than in a museum named after the borough? As light rain settles outdoors, we begin our tour of this captivating institution. Walking into the Beaux Arts Court, we're immediately struck by the fascinating design of the museum's central hall, where classical symmetry, marble finishes, and sculptural ornamentation harmoniously come together. The skylit space and its hanging chandelier leave me stunned by its beauty. We start at the museum's foundation, with local exhibits displayed in the Education Center. Creative expressions from the community showcased along the walls, telling the story of the city. Moving towards the second floor, we enter the amazing Arts of Asia, home to one of the largest collections of Asian art in America, with history going back thousands of years. Visitors stop to photograph the emaciated Buddha, while hallways adorned with Chinese calligraphy contain translated pieces of Walt Whitman's Crossing Brooklyn Ferry. This room, where various Asian cultures intersect, offers a powerful display of similarities and differences from some of the world's oldest civilizations. The Brooklyn Museum brings history to life through pieces like the robes of the Ainu people, inhabitants of Japan since 1200 CE. Nearby, the head of a Japanese guardian watches over the gallery, observing visitors just as it once protected sacred spaces in the 13th century. As you walk through this area, you'll be transported into a world of geometry and patterns. The museum is also home to one of the largest collections of Islamic, Egyptian, and Middle Eastern art in America. The vibrant colors of the portrait of Amir Khan and the late 18th century oil painting of a seated woman serve as a perfect introduction to this cultural segment. Egyptian art remains one of the most fascinating and enduring mediums discovered by scholars. Its rituals of mummification, symbolic languages, and deep belief in the afterlife offer a powerful record of ancient civilization. Let's proceed to a more modern setting. The Brooklyn Museum is full of inspiration from all cultures, and there's no better way to explore the borough than by diving into the roots of its expressions. This sculpture, titled Bound, is one of the most unique pieces of art I've ever experienced. A tribute to Black femininity and to the beauty, function, and politics of hair woven into the lives of Black women. The Brooklyn Museum holds a large collection of Black art, from contemporary artists to historical African works, showcasing the diverse development of the genre. This wing contains colors, paintings, and sculptures that present striking images and metaphors of America's often turbulent history. A room full of riveting messaging, from radical portraits of icons like Jimi Hendrix to connecting the present and past, giving this bronze sculpture an 18th century appearance. Even Susan Chen's Chinatown Block Watch adds to the beauty of diversity and highlights the challenges faced by a community during the pandemic. These exhibits showcase a kaleidoscope of artistic expressions, fueling the vibrancy of this rhythmic and dynamic borough. The museum, with more than 130 years of bringing the community together, is the place to connect with Brooklyn as it anchors itself into the greater New York City story.
At the entrance to Prospect Park is a fascinating Grand Army Plaza, one of the first features to be included in the park's design. Calvert Vaux, the designer of Prospect Park, wanted to provide a picturesque scenic entrance to showcase Brooklyn's architectural growth, commitment to the City Beautiful movement, and honor Union soldiers as civic pride. The Eastern Parkway was built around the Grand Army Plaza, designed by Vaux, an urban planning legend, Frederick Olmsted. The Eastern Parkway would go on to become the world's first parkway. It connected Brooklyn's ornamental roads to the city parks, free of the commercial traffic.
Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux brought to life a masterpiece ahead of its time. What began as a graceful parkway of ornamental roads, once quiet and free of traffic, evolved into a vibrant crossroads where parkgoers, cars, and Brooklyn's architecture collide in a dynamic urban rhythm. The Soldiers and Sailors Arch, framed by powerful statues of Abraham Lincoln, honors the Union soldiers, a symbol of courage, sacrifice, and resilience. Behind the arch is the Bailey Fountain, a bronze sculpture in bold Art Deco, dedicated in 1932 by Frank Bailey to his wife. The fountain brings a sense of emotion and purpose to this monumental space. Its figures represent wisdom and the image of guiding Brooklyn like a ship through an inland sea, a poetic reminder of a borough charting its own course in the story of a young America.
The fascinating Prospect Park, Brooklyn's second largest green space, spanning more than 500 acres of rolling meadows, woodlands, and lakes. The neighborhood of Park Slope takes its name from its geography, a gradual rise from Gowanus Creek leading up toward the park's edge. The park was established in 1867 after the New York legislature called for a park system in the rapidly expanding city of Brooklyn. At the time, Brooklyn had earned the title of the world's first commuter suburb, with ferries carrying residents to work in Manhattan and returning them home to quieter neighborhoods across the East River. Brooklyn's leaders envisioned a grand park that could rival Central Park in Manhattan. To achieve this, they turned to Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux, the famed landscape architects behind Central Park and Montreal's Mount Royal. Here in Brooklyn, they refined their vision, creating a park which architects claim to be Olmsted's masterpiece. Since its opening, Prospect Park has remained one of New York's most beloved escapes, a timeless retreat where nature, community, and recreation come together in this vibrant borough of New York City.
Welcome to the beautiful Prospect Park, the green heart of Brooklyn, where residents of Park Slope and Brooklynites from more than 50 neighborhoods come together in this oasis of scenic beauty. As a guitarist peacefully strums his chords, the melody sets the tone for this calm, ambient experience. Near the guitarist, someone practices meditation, balanced on a tightrope, a reminder that mindfulness comes in many forms. Joggers make their way across the open fields, moving between groups of people stretched out on the grass, enjoying the tranquility of this remarkable park. The 585-acre retreat is one of Brooklyn's largest parks, linking to the Brooklyn Museum and the Botanic Garden, an icon of the city. Prospect Park attracts millions of visitors each year, seeking a momentary escape from the busyness of America's largest metropolis. During the era of the park's creation, Brooklyn was the third largest city in America and considered the nation's first commuter suburb. Walking across Harry's Wall with the Oriental Pavilion behind me I'm reminded of Prospect Park's deep ties to the early days of Brooklyn. People traveled from New York City to this once independent borough in search of relief from urban life. Inspired by the success of Central Park, residents demanded a similar retreat, a place where nature and city could coexist. More than a century later, joggers, cyclists, walkers, and families continue to enjoy the vision laid out by the borough's early pioneers. As the community gathers to paint and decorate these repurposed shipping containers, it reflects how Prospect Park preserved history for future generations. Within its boundaries are landmarks from the American Revolution and the Battle of Brooklyn. It holds the borough's only remaining forest and the grounds of some of the earliest baseball games ever played in Brooklyn. Approaching the lake, dozens of geese swim in the water, perfectly setting the scene for a romantic moment being filmed along the shore. Sunset casts a warm glow across the lake, Brooklyn's only freshwater lake, stretching nearly 60 acres with small islands scattered throughout. Reflecting on the park's history, I come across its World War I memorial, designed by Augustus Luckman. The monument depicts an angel hovering over a fallen soldier, a haunting representation of the angel of death and the sacrifices made by Brooklyn residents who served in the war. Nearby, in the area called Concert Grove, stands a monument to Abraham Lincoln, dedicated in 1869. The 8-foot 6-inch figure holds the Emancipation Proclamation in its hands. As the sun fades, crowds gather at the steps of the boathouse to enjoy the final light of day. A Beaux Arts landmark, its architecture bridges our journey, blending design, horticulture, and history into one unforgettable experience.
The neighborhood of Park Slope offers a fascinating glimpse into Brooklyn's past. It blends tradition with modern city appeal, creating one of the most unique experiences in all of New York. From its unique streets to its green spaces, Park Slope has a distinct identity, one that feels exactly what people imagine Brooklyn to be. This neighborhood serves as a textbook example for architects studying the preservation of history, while surrounding itself with some of the best attractions the borough has to offer. I'm Jose, and I thank you for joining me on this tour of Park Slope in Brooklyn, New York City. Until next time.